Hey, I want to thank you for joining us here on Polk Place. And with the new year comes, well, new programs or programs that you may have seen last year, but now it's got 2025 on it. And that means going to be talking with the Polk History Center and none other than the one, the only, the Jayme Jamison. What you doing?
I am here filming Polk Place for the new year. My New Year's resolution was to spend more time with Brian Lacey.
2025, kick it off just like that.
Just starting right on in.
And I must say, what I've got to do is I want to say hi to the second biggest fans of Polk government television and Polk Place. That would be Jayme's parents.
They love to watch Polk Place. I think they enjoy seeing you, and then they just tune in for me as like a second option. Yeah.
Well, definitely. Well, 2025 means new year. Got some cool stuff going on, and then much cooler temperatures, and the building is coming right along. And I got to tell you, all throughout December, I came in and I looked for it. You know what I saw?
What?
I saw the red and green lights on top of the dome.
We're fancy now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a really great season for us at the Polk County History Center. We closed out December with some record attendance for our holiday events. We got to see so many of you from Polk County come in and enjoy the wreaths, visit with Santa, hear some singing by the Frostproof and Berkeley choirs. It was just a wonderful way to close out the year. And then, of course, like you said, we got to put our new dome lights through their paces.
And honestly, when I get in here in the morning, that is something you can see as I pull into town from coming in from Winter Haven, come up under the railroad, and it's just like,
yeah, Bartow.
Yeah.
So it's been really nice, and we're looking forward to utilizing that throughout the rest of the year, because as you're saying, that dome is just an iconic piece of Polk County, and so to highlight it and celebrate the seasons is great. I think we're going to do like pink and red for Valentine's, which is great, and we're going to roll right into celebrating everything that is 2025.
And you know what I'm excited about?
What's that?
PGTV is covering early this January.
What is that?
The swearing-in ceremony.
Yes, that's going to be fantastic.
There's just something about being in that old courthouse that is, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You can feel the spirit of the courthouse.
Yes, and you feel the seriousness of the job that our constitutional officers are taking on. I know that it's a lot of work and a lot of time and brain power spent not just by the constitutional officers, by the people who work in their offices. And so it's really great to see that celebrated, and there'll be some turnover this year, so we'll have some new faces. So really excited to welcome them into the History Center and tell them about everything that we do while they're there.
Yeah. So what else do we have going on during January?
Yeah, so well, the first thing to remember is that we are closed January 1st for the new year. We'll take a moment to breathe and get ready for all that we've got coming up. And then literally 3 days later is our first program on January 4th. We'll be going to the Oak Hill Cemetery, which is the historic Pioneer Cemetery here in Bartow. And I will be MIA for that. So there will be a
special... Mia?
I will be Mia.
Oh.
I will be missing in action.
Oh.
I'm taking a little
bit
of
who's
time.
This Mia?
Mia, you know, it's my alter ego. But not Mia, but Bartholomew Delcamp will be leading that tour of the cemetery. And I'm kind of jealous that I don't get to be on it.
I know. He always does a great job.
He does a wonderful job. So he'll be meeting with people at the History Center Saturday, January 4th at 9 a.m. to walk down. And I love it because we get to walk through Bartow. So we get to talk more than the cemetery. We get to talk about the founding of Polk County, why the county seat is in Bartow. And as you said, the weather is so nice right now that it's a beautiful walk to get down to the cemetery.
You ever do a tour of those houses down, you know, I'm not sure what, it's 2 roads down from you back to the north, all those big, beautiful houses.
The beautiful houses, yeah. So I've been in a few, and they're fantastic. My favorite, of course, is way back is the Wonder House, and the tours that they offer there. On the way to the cemetery, of course, we walk by Mann Manor, which is the current office for the Sutton Law Firm. And they're very generous to let you come in and look at the building because it is listed on the National Register of Historic Places too.
Yeah, honestly, during those, so sometimes I break up my run during the day, and rather than run out that way, I run that way.
Oh, yeah.
And I always slow down just because the intricate work on the porches of some of those houses.
Yep.
At the time that they did those, that was done handmade.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know that he's doing this, but he's led me into another aspect of what we do at the History Center.
Exactly.
So if you ever buy one of those houses or you're running by it and you just want to know about it, that's part of the research that we have in the Historical and Genealogical Library. You can look up the old plat mats. We can show you how to use the clerk's office to look up the old deeds. And you never know who you're going to find out used to live in that home. For example, I had a lady come in and she's like, I just want to know a little more about my home. Found out the mayor of Bartow used to live in her home. So it's a really cool adventure. And like you said, just looking at that unique architectural work, especially the L.B. Brown House in Bartow.
Another one of my favorites.
Yep, that gingerbread style.
Yep.
So it is the best time of year, I think, in Polk County to be outside enjoying that aspect of our cultural heritage.
You see what I did there, right?
Yeah, I did.
I set them up, and what did you do?
I knocked it out.
Yeah, exactly.
I was out of the park.
Bartender, give me a jack.
Yeah. No, I play softball.
Yeah, exactly.
Military league.
Yep.
So.
So what else we got going on in January?
So we also have the architectural tour, again hosted by Bartholomew Delcamp, and that will be January 18th. And we, as you pointed out too, are starting to see some shifting in the restoration work. So hopefully by that time we'll be able to show you some of the new windows. And when I say new, they're the old windows cleaned up and put back in place.
New and improved lemon scented.
Yeah, right? Yeah. He actually, it was really interesting, the architect and the contractor that are doing the window restoration project brought one of the restored windows in to show us. And they have gone through and literally made the windows exactly how they would have been in 1908. So they've replaced the rope and they've replaced the weights for lifting up the window sash. And it was funny because Bart looked out and he goes, wait a minute. And he goes down to the basement and he comes back up. He goes, one of these? And it's one of the window weights. And we have, as part of the collection, several of the original window weights. So they're starting to look fantastic, and we can't wait for that west side to be done, and then they'll be moving on to Main Street, and we're just gonna get probably a little bit faster with each phase that they do. Yeah, so it's been absolutely worthwhile. Little loud.
I know you've mentioned it in the past, but with that building being a historical landmark within the county, talk real quick, just touch on the importance of how it's restored, because you just can't go in there and do this and do, but with it being on the historical registry, talk a little bit about how they have to be maintained in their pristine condition in the way it was built.
Definitely. So when you look at restoring historical buildings, you have to look at the character of the building. That's one of the defining characteristics of a historical site, is the character. What does it look like? What does it express? Well, our building, of course, looks like a government building, and it expressed that character of city building that was just amazingly present in the 1900s in Central Florida. And because it's all handmade, what you start to discover, and anybody who has a historic home probably already knows this, when you start to discover that everything is made, first of all, fantastically well. The craftsmanship is fantastic. However, it's not perfect, right? So they didn't have a machine to cut out the window open. So all of the windows are slightly different from the one next to it. Yes. And so if you embark on a window restoration or a door, some sort of frame restoration project, you have to approach it very methodically. For example, every window of the 204 windows that they're going to...
There's 204?
204.
I was not aware of that.
Windows, yep.
Wow.
And so each time they remove one, they write the number on it. And they've gone through and they've mapped the building, where the windows, and so that they know they're putting the correct window back into the correct opening. Because over 100 years, not only was it imperfect to begin with, but now there's weathering, there's the sun, and it's all changed kind of the shape of that window. And this falls in line with not only our standards as a county, but with the Department of Interior and the recommendations for best historic practices when you're approaching some of those buildings. Our friends in Lakeland and Auburndale, they have what's called a certified local government. So even another layer there, when you go to restore a building in those communities, if they're listed as historic, you have to get approval before you change any of the basic characteristics of the building.
Wow.
Yeah. So it is done in order to preserve that character that makes our communities unique. You know, back to the dome. You know you're in Bartow, and you know you're in the county seat when you see that dome if you're coming in off of 98 or 17 or 60, whichever way you're coming in at.
Or took a wrong turn in Indiana thinking you were going to go to Notre Dame.
Oh, you made a wrong left. Yeah, you and Bugs Bunny trying to get away from Elmer Fudd.
I
Yeah.
took a wrong turn in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Yeah, so, but it's a fantastic process. One of the things that I love about it is, you know, it would be very easy to, you know, pull windows off a building and throw them in a landfill.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, then you're adding to the landfill waste, and those jobs disappear. But now we've got at least 10. We've got 10 new coworkers at the History Center.
Yep.
So it's not only sustainable environmentally, but it's sustainable economically. We're providing jobs by investing in historic structures.
And I'm not sure if you're old enough for this reference, but it's got a je ne sais quoi. How do you say Green Acres feel about it?
No, I don't know that one, but you know, and my younger people get this one. It's in the new Beauty and the Beast movie. Gaston goes, "There's a certain je ne sais quoi," and he goes, "I don't know what that means."
How do you say?
What do you say? Yes. So it's fantastic work, and we're more than happy to if you have a historic home and you have questions like yours, come in and visit with us, and we'll point you into the direction of the right resources.
So let's talk a little bit. You know, New Year. You know what that means. Our girl should have been in here, but yeah, she was hiding out. You know,
she is. Yeah. She's gonna come visit you next month, though.
Yeah.
I think she marked it on a calendar.
Yep.
You know, now that I think about it, it looks more like a dartboard, and your face is on it.
Throw left hand, throw right hand.
But yes, Shannon Graham is excited to come in and visit with you to talk about Genealogy Speaker Series next month. Do you want to know what her first one is?
Sure.
All right. So for the month of January, she is welcoming Tina Beard. And Tina is a genealogy resource for all things Irish. So one of the things that you'll run into when you're doing your family research is you can follow the trail pretty easy in the United States, and then you find out, oh, they came from Ireland, and the trail kind of dips off. Yeah. So she's going to tell us about some of the resources that are similar to Ancestry, similar to Family Search, but are just for Irish research.
That just seems like it should have been a March thing.
Yeah, it does seem, but you know, Shannon's got that red hair, so like every day is probably
every day's
St. Patrick's
Irish.
Day. Yeah. So, but I think she might be doing one on women's history for March month. So, but she's got a whole slate lined up. She was giddy as a school kid about it. She came to us and she's like, "What do you think's the more interesting topic?" And we all, this is like super level nerd stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think the files of ancient Romania might be, So she's got the whole lineup, and of course, we're offering that hybrid, and we get people from Polk County who tune in, but we get people from all across the country that tune in. So it's just been a fantastic representation of what we do here at Polk County.
The interwebs has brought a new type of person to the Polk History Center.
Yep, and they're the type of people that maybe don't even remember signing in and getting, "You got mail."
Yeah, exactly.
They're a whole new generation of internet people.
I saw that on a movie the other.
Yeah, and you're like, come on, connect.
I think somewhere between that and that car alarm back in the 90s, you know what I mean? Those are two sounds that we'll never get rid of.
No, we'll never get rid of it. Nope.
So we got anything else in January?
There is a meeting of the Polk County Historical Commission in January. The information about that is on the Polk County website. And people who are interested in what are we doing to preserve Polk County's history, and or if there's someone who's interested in designating a site in Polk County as historic, they can come to the meeting and get all the information and meet with the people. I think we've got some markers coming up for the First Baptist Church in Bartow, as well as St. James AME Church in Bartow. So we need some people from Lake Wales and Winter Haven come in and start submitting some applications for markers, because That marker program is one of the easiest ways to connect people with our history because it's out there where they are. So if you've got a site, come on in and talk to us.
So is that it for January then?
That's it for January. The only other plug I have is if you are a teacher and you're looking for a field trip, we are booking up January, February, March, and April. We are going to be seeing students from Bella Cheetah, from Scott Lake, from Berkeley, from Lakeland Christian. So you should bring your school.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to quote a movie for you. Ready?
Okay.
Ready? What movie am I? Happy New Year.
Oh, I don't know.
That's Rudolph's Shiny New Year, the little
Is
baby
it?
New
Oh
Year.
My God, the baby New Year. Yes, it is. I don't know why, but I just got the picture of Lieutenant Dan and Forrest Gump celebrating New Year instead. You talk about a great person, Gary Sinise.
Yeah.
We need to have him on.
I've seen his band
Me
play.
too, the Lieutenant Dan band. Yep. And now we've gone off the railroad track.
Anyway.
But next month, me, Brian, and Gary Sinise.
Yeah.
Putting it in the universe.
Did you just say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm putting it out there.
Okay.
I'm vision boarding for 2025.
Exactly. Well, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you when you come back and talk about February, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Polk County has a rich history and heritage, and the Polk County History Center is continuously thinking of new ways to help Polk residents experience that history. Located at 100 East Main Street in Bartow, the History Center is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Now, you need more information about exhibits, events, or how you can help them or anything else. Check them out on the web, polkhistorycenter.org. Give them a call, 863-534-4386. If you enjoyed that episode of Polk Place, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and even check out the next one.